Hi everyone, my name is Austin Fricker and I'm a plant breeder here at Pure Seed Testing. A little bit of my background, I grew up here. Crystal Fricker is my mother, so I started working out here at the farm in Oregon when I was 13 years old. So I've been around for a little while. I went to Oregon State and got my undergraduate degrees in crop and soil science and international politics and policy. And then I got my master's in plant breeding and genetics working with hops. And then started working out here full time in 2015. I'm standing here at our Pure Seed Testing West location in Canby, Oregon in our shade trial. And we're actually in a Kentucky bluegrass trial that we planted last fall, late August 2019. And Kentucky bluegrass is something that's really exciting to see in shade trials here. I think it's one of our best stops that we have on our field days because you get to see really stark differences between the varieties. So bluegrass, the way that it works is biologically the seed is a clone of the mother plant. And so within each plot, every single plant is a clone. So they're all genetically related. So we're not shifting a population. You're seeing basically a yes or no binary, has resistance, doesn't. They can shake out in the middle, but within the plot, every plant's gonna behave the same. And so we get to see some really cool differences. And that's how we found out that Wright was a highly shade tolerant variety. It was in these trials here in Oregon. And we have some new exciting ones, Desert Moon and New Moon, that are both showing a lot of promise for shade tolerance in our last couple of trials that we've done. So the main reason we look at shade tolerance in the different species that we work on, especially with perennial ryegrass and Kentucky bluegrass, is that there's a large application in sports stadiums where managers of the pitches are constantly battling shade from the stadiums. So we set up a pretty cool trial here 3 years ago on the edge of our shade trial where we have a gradient of shade, which you'll get to see a cool video of. So each rep gets more sunlight as you go out away from the trees. And we saw some really cool differences between ryegrasses and bluegrasses for shade tolerance. And so things like some of our newer varieties like Silver Sport and Gray Wolf performed extremely well, whereas some of our older varieties we saw fall apart. They'd get a little bit of rust and they'd start to thin out from the shade. And then on the bluegrass side, Desert Moon and New Moon really just glowed. It almost looked like a paint trial in the shade because they did so well.
With regards to a lot of stadiums have shade issues, and the new designs of some of the soccer, football stadiums, even baseball, where they're bringing the fans closer to the field, you develop shade challenges, let's say. And so grasses that perform well in shade with the added benefit of wear tolerance and that establishment, those are all traits we're looking for. And then also in stadiums you have conditions where you may not have a lot of air movement, and you need disease tolerance because you may be watering to get that seed going and keep that existing grass growing. You're adding moisture and you may have heat and low air movement, so disease tolerance plays in quite heavily.
Pure Dynasty seeded paspalum grows exceptionally well in low light and shady conditions. In areas with frequent cloud coverage such as Southeast Asia or sports stadiums where portions of the field experience shade for extended periods of the day, Pure Dynasty maintains a steady growth and provides an excellent playing surface.
I was first introduced to Tea to Green directly by Lou Sharp. I had been using their product for many years in various places, apart from the golf club at Basin Harbor. However, because we're sort of unique in a way, is we have golf holes that are out in the open, and we have golf holes that have specific issues with shade and dampness. And they had a particular variety that we were interested in, Crystal Blue Lynx. We decided to start using that particular variety on those greens and the tees in the shaded areas. And then that sort of morphed into incorporating that mix with Pen A4, A1, on the whole golf course.
You're not alone if you're frustrated trying to grow a beautiful lawn in the shade. Shade causes lawn problems due to lack of amount and quality of sunlight along with reduced air movement. Shade results in shorter roots, poor plant health, which means diseases are more likely. Lower wear tolerance means damage by kids and pets happen more often, and those pesky bare spots always turn into a weedy lawn. Solutions include increasing your mowing height for a deeper, stronger root system, but above all, choose and use a pure seed bred for shade species and variety like Silver Sport, perennial ryegrass, Wright, Kentucky bluegrass, Soil Guard hard fescues, and Shade Master 3 creeping red fescue. Yes, you can grow a beautiful, luxurious lawn in a shady spot when you choose and care for pure seed shade-loving varieties.